Meet Wesley Snipes, professional vampire slayer, martial arts expert, action movie legend, and somehow the man who got absolutely bodied by tax forms. This is the story of how one of the 90s most legitimate badasses went from hunting the undead to wearing an orange jumpsuit. Because apparently, the IRS is scarier than Dracula. Wesley Trent Snipes didn't stumble into action stardom by accident. Born in Orlando in 1962, this guy actually knew how to fight before Hollywood taught him to fake it. We're talking legitimate martial arts training: karate, kung fu, capoeira. You know, the kind of skills that come in handy when you're not busy ignoring federal tax law. Snipes didn't just appear out of nowhere. After honing his craft at SUNY Purchase's theater program, he scored his first film in Wildcats and grabbed the spotlight as Michael Jackson's rival in The Bad video, directed by Martin Scorsese. Then came his breakthrough in 1989's Major League as the fast-talking Willie Mays Hayes. Suddenly, everyone saw he had charisma, comedy chops, and athletic flair. By the early 90s, Snipes wasn't just working, he was leading. But it was 1991's New Jack City that proved Wesley wasn't just another actor with athletic flair. Playing drug lord Nino Brown, he showed he could be genuinely menacing. This wasn't just stage combat. This dude had presence, intensity, and could actually throw a punch that looked like it hurt. Then came White Men Can't Jump. Wesley proved he could do comedy, handle Woody Harrelson's energy, and look convincing on a basketball court. Range people. This man had range. By 1992's Passenger 57, Wesley had found his sweet spot, the thinking man's action hero. Always Bet on Black became an instant classic line, and suddenly Wesley Snipes was the guy you called when you needed someone who could both deliver one-liners and actually look like they could disarm a terrorist. And then, in 1998, everything changed. Blade hit theaters, and Wesley Snipes became the coolest vampire hunter in cinematic history. Here's the thing everyone forgets. This movie basically invented the modern superhero film. While everyone else was making campy Batman sequels, Wesley delivered a hard R, leather-wearing, sunglasses-at-night superhero who took no prisoners. Marvel wasn't even Marvel yet, and Wesley Snipes was out here proving that comic book movies could be dark, violent, and actually cool. Blade made $131 million worldwide. Blade 2 made $155 million. Blade Trinity. Well, we don't talk about Blade Trinity. But for a hot minute there, Wesley Snipes was superhero cinema. And here's what separated him from other action stars. The man could actually fight. While other leading men were doing wire work and stunt doubles, Wesley was doing his own choreography. This wasn't movie magic. This was legitimate martial arts skill wrapped in a leather trench coat. The early 2000s should have been Wesley's time. Now, I know I said we don't talk about Blade Trinity, but let's talk about Blade Trinity. This movie should have been Wesley's victory lap. Instead, it became a 3-hour course in how to torch your own career. Reports from set painted a picture of Wesley Snipes being, let's say, difficult to work with. We're talking not showing up, staying in his trailer, allegedly communicating with the director through Post-it notes. Yes, really, Post-it notes. The movie made money, but the damage was done. Hollywood is a small town with a long memory, and difficult is the kiss of death. And here's where things get really messy. While Wesley's career was already cooling off, while his reputation was taking hits, he was also apparently forgetting to file his taxes. From 1999 to 2004, right during his Blade peak, Wesley wasn't filing federal income tax returns. We're talking about roughly $7 million in unpaid taxes. Now you might think, hey, everyone makes mistakes with their taxes. But this wasn't a math error on TurboTax. Wesley had apparently fallen down the rabbit hole of tax resistance movements. He got involved with advisors who convinced him that federal income tax was basically illegal and that he didn't have to pay. Which, spoiler alert, is not how the IRS sees things. In 2006, Wesley was indicted on 8 counts of tax fraud. The man who'd made a career out of being untouchable was suddenly very, very touchable. His legal team argued that he'd been given bad advice, that he genuinely believed he didn't owe taxes. The prosecutors were less sympathetic. In 2008, Wesley was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. 3 years away from an industry that doesn't wait for anyone. Wesley was released in 2013, and Hollywood had moved on without him. The Marvel Cinematic Universe had exploded. Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. All the heroes Wesley had basically paved the way for were making billions while he was away. He's tried to make a comeback. Expendables 3, Coming to America, some direct-to-video projects. But here's the harsh reality. 3 years away from Hollywood is like 30 years in regular time. The industry doesn't wait for anybody, even vampire slayers. But here's what we can't take away from Wesley Snipes. The man was ahead of his time. Blade pioneered everything we love about modern superhero cinema. Wesley Snipes didn't just make a successful action movie, he carved the path that led to X-Men in 2000, Spider-Man in 2002, and eventually the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. The strategy of tailoring a character to an actor's strengths? That started with Wesley and Blade, long before Robert Downey Jr. became Tony Stark. Marvel didn't rise with Iron Man. It survived because of Blade. Wesley Snipes proved you can be the coolest vampire hunter in cinema history and still get absolutely destroyed by the most boring enemy of all, paperwork. Thanks for watching, and remember, always file your taxes. Wesley Snipes is living proof that the IRS is undefeated. Subscribe for more cautionary tales from Hollywood.